In some cases, yes. I won't say it's going to be 100% no, but in most cases, in particular with this current job climate, there's so many openings that employers are going to be pretty foolish to let somebody go and plug in a robot. If anything, they're going to redeploy them and train them to do another job, and probably something that's, less physically demanding and more focused on problem solving, quality control activity, something that's not great for a robot or automation to do, but that puts a person in a position of thinking and acting on their feet and interacting with other people. That's a lot more predictable as far as what will happen after automation is implemented. It's sitting down and saying, okay, have kind of going through the list like I did in the webinar of where are dull, dirty, dangerous jobs, where do we have a lot of turnover, where do we have open positions that we just can't seem to fill, where do we have positions on expanding shift, second or third shift maybe, that we're having trouble identifying candidates for, where are positions we just can't pay people enough to stay, because it's just that bad of a job. Those are some good places to start. And then while a lot of job shops always give the answer of we don't make enough parts, we don't make millions of things, and that's fine, but identifying some areas that you do repetitive work on, or that maybe you have a family of parts that they're all a little different, but they're very similar in size and weight and features, that you could maybe implement with some automation. Putting in a flyer, a promotional flyer, piece of paper, cardstock into a box, and doing that, lining up a puzzle box that came down the line, dropping in an insert, and then the next operator would put the lid on. That was it. So having a small little robot just with the little vacuum gripper, grab a sheet of cardstock, drop it into the box that was going to be in the same place every time. Doesn't get much simpler than that as far as an application and a really dull job, right? Just dropping in thousands of those a day. So that's one. Machine tending is the most common. So we've run into some good machine tending applications with a CNC mill, where you can kind of park the robot there, give it a whole bank of stock to run through a machining cycle, load and unload, and keep that going. So we've run into a really good number of those cases where it's been a good fit for a robot to do. One that's very universal in application is carton erecting or box building. So taking a cardboard sheet in the flat into a 3D box and having it taped on one side, and that can all be facilitated with a cobot arm and a tape machine and a small conveyor line, and for $60,000 to $80,000 typically, all in. So that is something that can be done like off shift. So usually like that kind of thing may be done early in the morning, the start of a shift. Somebody's spending a lot of time doing that. That can now be relegated to cobot setup doing that in various box sizes. So you don't have to have the same size. So you might say, well, I've got 3 boxes I'm running this day, and as long as you have 3 stacks of corrugate ready, you can program it to pick from each one and build that particular box. So sometimes there's a little bit of setup change that's required for kind of the fixture that allows it to manipulate the box into 3D, but that's usually pretty simple and straightforward. And once you do it the first time, it's a simple changeover the next time. Yeah, a few things I'll say, and depending on where you're at in the stages, maybe you've already had us in, maybe you haven't, maybe you've had an integrator in or a technology product expert in. It's always good to get a second opinion. We're here to offer that. So from an assessment standpoint, we can do those, but we're also looking to do projects. We're looking to do some like prototype, proof of concept types of things offline. So if you want to try out like a machine tending application, let's say, we can do that in the lab, turn it into a project, have you down here, shoot a video of our robot doing that with a similar setup. We don't have to have the same CNC machine here, but that's not critical. What's critical is the loading area, the collet, the fixture you're using, the part presentation area, which we can mock up here. So those types of things we can do, again, pretty low risk. It's not affecting your production it's something we can do offline and see if it's going to work for you or not without you having to take that risk, shut a line down, take key personnel away from their jobs to do that and find out that maybe it's not a fit. Even if it is, we can do that for you. Everybody's resources are pretty strapped these days, so anything we can do to take that off your plate would be, I think, of value.